Okay, well, here we're going to look at a couple examples involving heights of objects, heights of falling objects. Galileo is the one who is credited with discovering that the distance an object falls is proportional to the time it's been falling. And it turns out that the height of a falling object t seconds after it is dropped is given by this formula right here. H sub 0 minus 16t squared, and the h sub 0 is just the initial height it started at, and t is again time in seconds. The answer here, h of t, is going to be the height above the ground in feet. All right, so let's use that to answer this question here. It says we've got a forest ranger who's dropped a cup of coffee off his watchtower. The cup hits the ground 1.5 seconds later. We want to know how high the tower was. Well, if it's hitting the ground, then my h of t at that time is going to be 0. It's not above the ground, it's on the ground, so it's 0 feet above the ground. T, of course, is my time, and the how high, well, that's where it initially started, so that's our h sub 0. So if we plug those into that formula up there, my height is going to be 0 at whatever this initial height h sub 0 was, minus 16 times the 1.5 seconds squared. Okay, simplifying and then adding over, we get it was 36 feet tall. Let's do something similar, but we're solving for a different variable this time. The arch is 630 feet tall. If you could pop open the window and drop off a water balloon, how long is it going to take for it to hit the ground? Okay, so this time they gave me the initial height, the h sub 0, but they didn't give me the t, the time, right? They still told me it's hitting the ground, so my height's going to be 0. So I plug in my 0 for the height here, and I plug in my 630 for my initial height, minus the 16t squared. Okay, so this is a quadratic equation that I'm solving, not just a nice linear one. So I'm going to isolate this squared term because that's probably the easiest way to solve this one. Add it over to the other side. We still got to get rid of the 16 before we can take the square root, so divide both sides through. Don't worry about simplifying that answer. And then take the square root. Now normally we would say a positive or a negative root, whatever, but we know that t represents time and it wouldn't make sense to use the negative, so I just left it off. And when you simplify that using your calculator, you should get 6.3 seconds.